There have been many glitches in Clash of Clans history, from free gems to negative trophies, whatever you can think of. However, nothing beats the amount of troop-specific glitches, so today we're taking a look at one glitch for every troop in Clash of Clans. Let's start with the Baby Dragon. Shortly after its addition to the builder base and the home village, if you dropped a haste spell on the Baby Dragon, instead of attacking faster like you would expect a troop under a haste to do, it would actually do the opposite and attack slower. It seemed that its ability was causing the issue. You could not combine it with a haste. This was in the game for so long that players even thought this was a hidden mechanic, but no, it was a glitch. Balloon. Way back around 2014, 2015, for some reason if you dropped a rage spell on a balloon, sometimes it would cause it to temporarily shoot blanks. So you would see it trying to attack, but it wasn't dropping the bombs, it wasn't doing any damage. It would simply hover over the tower trying to attack, until eventually it was destroyed. Hog Rider. When they first came out in March 2013, back when they still targeted anything, for some reason the max level 5 Hog and only the level 5 couldn't jump over walls and would instead start hitting the wall. I guess it really did attack anything. Lava Hound. Around mid-2017, there was a glitch with the Lava Hound where if it took splash damage as the final blow, it wouldn't spawn the lava pups. This was because the Lava Hound dying and the pup spawning was happening at the exact same time, so the splash damage would take everything out. Obviously, this wasn't very cash money for Lava Loon players. Root Rider. This one's pretty recent, so you might remember it. At release in December 2023, a raged Root Rider wouldn't break walls and would instead just speed right through it, which is hilarious because it defeats half the purpose of the troop. In some rare instances, like if it was spawned near a wall, it would do it even without the rage. This messed up so many attacks, but eventually it was fixed in February 2024. Healer. As you know, if she's in a defensive clan castle, she'll start healing the defending troops. But a glitch caused her to heal buildings as well if it was close enough to the troops she was healing. Now, once upon a time, she did intentionally heal buildings, but this was over 10 years ago, she wasn't supposed to be doing it anymore. Still, occasionally she would heal buildings on and off throughout the years. They even added shields to the buildings that would get removed not long after, until eventually it was fixed for real. Bowler. Surprisingly, I couldn't find much, but interestingly, when they were first released, some Town Hall 9s were able to unlock it and train them, despite the bowler being unlocked at Town Hall 10. However, it was quickly resolved. Dropship. After it was nerfed in early 2024, the dropship had issues dropping the skeletons on some buildings near walls. It would instead drop some of them outside the wall, which wasn't supposed to happen, as the entire point of the skeletons was to destroy the building, not go target something else. Electro Titan. In mid-2024, there was this rare bug that would cause a dead Electro Titan's aura to still remain and actually do damage. Obviously, the aura is supposed to vanish with the troop, but in this case, it stuck around long enough to destroy the town hall long after the Electro Titan had died. There's only one recorded instance of this, but yeah, pretty cool. Flying Fortress. It's unknown whose fault this was, but in late 2022, a bug caused the Flying Fortress to be invisible to the clan capital. Normally, it would attack, but sometimes it just wouldn't. You can even see a barbarian get absolutely annihilated while the Flying Fortress just sits there attacking the clan capital. Goblin. This one is much more about the sneaky goblin's pathing. Basically, sometimes its AI would trip and target a wall rather than a storage, and a lot of the time it could have easily got the storage, it just didn't want to. On the flip side, they could also walk through walls in goblin maps. These two seem to be fixed nowadays, but of course, AI shenanigans always happen. Valkyrie. In late 2014, and actually multiple times throughout the game's history, there was a glitch that caused a defensive Valkyrie to swing her axe at troops, but not do any damage. This was devastating, as back then, the Valkyrie was one of the only troops that can handle so many troops at the same time, and imagine seeing this. Barbarian. For the regular barbarian, there wasn't anything, but in late 2017, there were some reports of players using way more raged barbarians than you could train. The 2017 builder base was full of bugs. Speaking of rage, the bomber had a pretty unique bug in 2017 as well. Bombers could become raged if a barbarian was deployed near them. They didn't actually gain any ability, but it was still wild to see. Minion. Sometime in 2021, a user on Reddit recorded their minion trying to hit some moving goblins. However, the shot never reaches its target. In fact, it goes on for a long journey across the map and into the trees. Now, normally the minion would have just missed the shot, or it would go an extra couple feet to hit it. But this day, it decided to take a long shot into a whole nother level. Legend has it that it's still flying around looking for a target. Ice Golem. So I'm going to be upfront here, it's unknown if this bug was specific to the Ice Golem or if it was something else that happened, but pretty recently there was a bug that caused some defensive Ice Golems to target something farther away than the nearest target, which, as you may know, could make or break a match. Now, some speculate that the problem was that when the Grand Warden jumps in this one clip here, the Ice Golems may have accidentally thought the Warden was in air mode for a second, so they switched targets, only for some of them to retarget back to the Warden. That would explain what's happening here, but the issue was never confirmed. Dragon. In mid-2014, there was an issue with defensive dragons. What's up with defensive troops? They're always breaking. Once the dragons came out of the clan castle and locked onto the target, they would make their way over and do nothing. Eventually, the archers, or whatever it was supposed to be defending against, would take it out, leading to a pretty easy clan castle lure. And remember, back in those days, it wasn't easy to get a high-level troop in your clan castle, so imagine something you requested doing this. Archer. While nothing major has taken place with the archers, there have been some graphical glitches like invisible archers in 2021. But more interestingly, in the Boulder base, a level 11 sneaky archer had the same upgraded stats as a level 12 back in 2017. Giant. Around 2018-2019, if a boxer giant got flung away by a push trap, it would freeze and do nothing. This wasn't unique to the giant by any means, but it seemed to happen much more with the giant for some reason. Sometimes it would also cause it to be in a different area than where it was, so you would see it hitting the air or something and randomly get killed because it was actually somewhere else. Wallbreaker. In its early years, it was notorious for having some of the worst AI behavior, but a weird bug in 2015 made it even worse. Jump spells would attract the wallbreaker so it would go attack walls under the jump. Now, this was most likely caused by the jump spell as well, so both parties are guilty here, because the jump spell influences troops' pathing, it draws them to it. But the wallbreaker was supposed to ignore it, but it wasn't. Electro Dragon. Surprisingly, not much has happened, but not too long ago there was a visual glitch that made it appear like a black polygon. This happened to several troops, but particularly flying troops like the Electro Dragon. Cannon Cart. Shortly after the Build-A-Base 2.0 update in 2023, if a push trap flung a cannon cart and you switched it to mortar mode while in the air, the cannon cart would go back to its previous spot, so it basically rendered the trap useless. Night Witch. Although the same glitch has impacted many troops, the Night Witch also experienced the notorious freezing glitch. But because the Night Witch spawns troops, it was basically like placing an endless bat spell. It would just keep spewing out bats. P.E.K.K.A. Unfortunately, there is no variant of the P.E.K.K.A. that had any major glitches. Most of them were just glitches that were affecting many troops, but I thought it was still worth showing you some of them in action. Miner. I got a couple here. At release, defensive miners had an issue where they could not go through walls, so if the clan castle happened to be inside walls like it is 90% of the time, the miners would simply sit there and wait. At one point in this clip, the only reason they move is to get away from a poison, and they end up getting stuck on a wall where they get taken out. There was also a glitch that many thought was intentional. Defenses would keep targeting miners while they were underground. They either kept attacking it or simply waited for it to pop back up, which made the miners so much more OP as intended because it distracted everything. Yeti. The Yetis experienced a visual bug, causing it to appear with empty baskets. Now, the empty baskets can happen, it's when the Yetis run out of Yeti mites, but due to the glitch where it was always empty, it made it hard to determine which Yetis still had Yeti mites during a battle without looking very closely at them. Golem. Though not specific to the Golem, in October 2016, there was a training glitch that would allow you to train anything in 3 seconds. And the Golem, having the longest training time, I believe at the time, became the center of attention while the glitch still worked. Headhunter. So as you know, as long as there are heroes in the battlefield, headhunters will first head there and ignore everything else, even clan castle troops. It's kind of like the Hog Rider looking for the nearest defense. However, a glitch around early 2021 caused headhunters deployed from a clan castle to sometimes target buildings despite there being heroes still alive. If you look closely in this clip, they're hiding behind the clan banner, but they're attacking the Dark Elixir storage, which wasn't supposed to happen. Apprentice Warden. When released in mid-2023, the Apprentice Warden had a bug where its aura did not affect other Apprentice Wardens. This meant that the Apprentice would boost the stats of everything else but its own kind. What a betrayal. Battle Ram. Back when it was still a temporary troop for the home village in 2017, the Battle Ram initially targeted anything, but it was updated to only target walls shortly after. However, in some cases, like in this very blurry video, a glitch was causing them to still target buildings after the changes. Hog Glider. This wasn't really the troop itself, but it's still related to the Hog Glider. In April 2024, a clan game required you to use the Hog Glider in multiplayer battles, which is impossible. And normally these things are simply typos and you can complete them anyway, but this one didn't work. If you did it in the builder base, it would not work. It really wanted you to use it in multiplayer battles. Electro Fire Wizard. There isn't anything crazy, it has a pretty clean track record, but like many other troops, it had AI pathing issues when released in mid-2023. It also had a visual bug that caused it to keep changing between the modes. However, I couldn't find any gameplay of that, but I do remember, just trust me bro. Raid Cart. I already mentioned the cannon card, but this one was too interesting to pass up. So when they were first released with the Clan Capital update, if there was a heal spell and they were down, they would be healed. This would make them stick around for way too long. Wizard. Okay, I tried to find something for the wizard because, come on, he's the wizard, but I couldn't find anything. However, there is one common glitch that happens to a lot of troops where they keep changing targets near a jump spell. Well, this seems to happen a whole lot more for the wizards. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Mountain Golem. I already mentioned the regular Golem, but this one's way too different, so it might as well be another troop. When the Apprentice Warden was added, it somehow clashed with the Mountain Golem as well, giving it aura stats. Now, some spectate that the reason this happened is because the Mountain Golem actually has aura stats that are hidden, which serves a purpose, destroying the walls it walks over. However, the stats that appeared on its info screen did not make any sense, and it was just a glitch. Inferno Dragon. Back when it was first added in June 2020, the Inferno Dragon would charge while flying, so if you deployed it far away from a building, by the time it got to the building, it would absolutely melt it. It's possible that this was an intended mechanic that went horribly wrong, as just a couple of months later it was fixed. So unfortunately I couldn't find any footage for this one, but it is interesting, so you'll want to hear it anyway. There was this one glitch where the witches would spawn skeletons without first pausing as they usually do. On top of that, they would also drop skeletons upon death, something the witches never do. These two bugs combined ended up becoming the birth of the witch slap strategy, and even after they were fixed, the strategy remained pretty popular. Super Dragon. Nothing major here, but during the Dragon Spotlight event, if you were in a town hall that didn't have the Super Dragons unlocked, they would appear as regular dragons in your camps. There was also a bug that caused them to take double the time to train during the exact same event. And that is a glitch for every troop in Clash of Clans. Okay, I lied, I couldn't find anything for these troops, but please forgive me. You may have also noticed that I didn't mention every variant of each troop. I feel like mentioning the Barbarian, for example, 4 times would have been a little excessive and unnecessary. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed anyway. So that's pretty much all I have for you today, but hey, YouTube thinks you'll like this next video on the screen, so why don't you check it out? As always, have a gaming out. Peace!